As a man thinketh, so is he. Proverbs 23, verse 7. And in this verse, when the Bible is talking about man, it's actually men and women, it's human beings. Have you noticed when people are moody, you just know exactly that they are having negative thoughts. And if they're smiling, you know that they're having positive thoughts. So, whatever we're thinking about is reflected in our character, is reflected in our words. Have you noticed how things that we watch, things that we read, things that we hear have a way of influencing our thoughts and eventually have a way of manipulating or even shaping our belief system? Hello, welcome. My name is Alberta. I am a firm believer that stories have a way of interconnecting or just connecting humanity. So, this channel is all about stories. I have the honor today of sharing with you a true life story from my country, the DRC. I am from Congo. We are Central Africans, but many people think we're West Africans. I don't know why. Our ancestors, majority, are from West Africa, especially if we are Bantu. I'm Bantu. So we are like long time ago from West Africa, but we are Central Africans. Just a history lesson for whoever cares. But today, that's off topic, by the way, sorry. Today, I want to share with you this story, and this story is really important. I hope when you hear this story, you will realize how it's important for us to be selective about our thoughts, and hopefully, you enjoy it. So, stay tuned. Hello, welcome now. Thank you for joining me. My name is Alberta, us and just encourage. Hola. Moyo bote na bino. Hello, thank you for joining me again. This channel is all about stories. I love stories, and today I have the honor of sharing with you a true life story that happened in my country. Hopefully, you will enjoy listening to this story. Now, a long time ago, STDs or STIs, which stands for sexually transmitted diseases or sexually transmitted infections, were very unfamiliar to Congolese. We did not have enough information, and so it was treated in my country. Okay, it was treated a little bit like what happened in 2020. Okay, so if people knew you were suffering from STDs, they would treat you in a certain way. People would be gossiping about you. You are just an outcast. Now, during that period, we had our second president. Our second president, Mobutu, emphasized on the authenticity of Africanism. Like, if you're an African, he did not want Congolese to use their Christian names or European names or any other names except African names. So during that time, a lot of people who were born during that time or who completed their education during that time had pure African names. That was the norm back then. So at that time, way before my parents were even married, there were two gentlemen. These two gentlemen did not know each other. They belonged to the same tribe. In my country, when people belong to the same tribe, chances are they share the same name. There's a high possibility that you are not the only person with that name. For example, my African name is Odia, and if you come in my family, you meet my cousins, you'll find out that I share that name with a lot of my cousins. In fact, I have also met people with that same name who are not biologically related to me, but we're from the same tribe. So, in short, people from the same tribe usually share the same names for various reasons. So these two gentlemen who did not know each other shared the same tribal names. Again, during the time when President Mobutu emphasized that he wanted Congolese to use their African names instead of any other names. So these men went to the hospital to get tested. Remember, it's a time when there was a lot of stigma around STDs. So if you needed a job, other than having your resume, a lot of employers required you to have proof to show that you tested negative from STDs. They wanted to be sure that their employees were healthy, they could take on any tasks and all those things. So one of the requirements was that you needed to get tested for STDs. And so these two gentlemen, probably working in very good professional positions, because it wasn't just anybody that was required to do that. They were really good professional positions that required that. So it happened that one of them tested positive from STDs and the other one tested negative. But they went to the same hospital, and then the nurse that was there, again, remember, it was a time when there was not a lot of facilities. To this day in Congo, we don't have a lot of facilities, so everything was done manually, meaning it was slower and more difficult, more challenging than today. So the nurses that were there, one of them made a mistake. She took the test, the positive result, placed it in the file of the one that tested negative, and then took the negative result, placed it in the file of the one that tested positive. So yeah, she mistakenly swapped the result. Now, these two gentlemen, once they received their results, they read it and immediately believed what they read. So, oh my goodness. As I'm sharing this story, I'm also imagining what happened. So they went home. The one who went home with the positive results started preparing for his own death. He bought his own casket. He literally prepared himself to die. Even the neighbors knew that, oh, this man is going to die from STDs. And eventually he died. He died. God, oh my goodness. He died not because he tested positive from the STDs, but he died because of fear. See, that's the whole point. Like, forget everything that you watched in this video, but remember the power of our thoughts. This gentleman that my mom knew read his medical report and immediately believed it, and it manipulated his belief system, and eventually he died. He died believing that he died from STDs. Oh my goodness. I'm laughing not because it's funny, but that laughter is a laughter of pain. I know I have different ways of laughing now. Anyway, so he died from fear and not from STDs. And the one who actually tested positive, continued living his life as if nothing was wrong with him. Few years or months, I can't remember exactly, I'm sorry, but some time went by, and the hospital started writing their reports and going through old files and whatnot. They discovered that there was a particular season or time when they made a lot of mistakes, and like they gave the wrong results to patients and whatnot. So somebody discovered that gentleman's file and then decided to call the two gentlemen's families. They called the first gentleman, the one that had already passed on. His wife answered the phone. Of course, they didn't have mobile phones. It's not the modern phones that we have. They had different things, but they called. The fact remains that they called. His wife answered, and then the hospital was like, can we talk to Mr. So and so? And then the lady said, oh, I'm sorry, my husband is already passed on. And then the person on the other end, the person in the hospital said, oh, I'm sorry to hear about your husband, but we wanted to inform you that on this particular day, he came to do a medical checkup and we gave him the wrong results. Imagine, after this person has already died, now they're calling the wife to tell her that I can't imagine being in that woman's shoes. Like, hey, God forbid 1,000 times. Hey, even you was calling. Yay. Anyway, I'm just thinking about this woman. What she went through. You know, like I said, back then, STDs were treated like what happened in 2020. If people knew that you were suffering from STDs, you become the talk of town. You're treated like a taboo. So I'm thinking what this widow went through all this time, even herself believing that her husband died from STDs, and then the hospital. Now they're calling to say, hey, sorry, we made a mistake. So I don't want to continue the story. You can already imagine what happened and all those details. But here's the thing. If you forget about everything that happened in this video, everything I said in this video, we have to be very selective about who we listen to, what we're reading, what we're watching, you know, just everything. Not just things that we eat, like my friends trying to look so good. Not just that, but everything. So I will leave you with this question. Who is influencing your thoughts? Who have you given permission to influence your belief system or to shape your belief system? That's the question I will leave you with. With that, I hope to see you next time. I'll share another story, and I hope you enjoyed the story. Yeah, remember, I love you and Jesus loves you more.